architect tonight. I was an architect here in town for many years. In fact, I designed many houses on Main Street. I guess building was just in my blood. You see, my father designed this Lily Grande house standing earlier. And my brother Sidney, now this is good. Sidney was the chief architect for Colonial Williamsburg. And my great-great-uncle was the architect for the old Albemarle Hospital, where Riverwind Apartments are now. I said the building was in my blood, but apparently marrying was not. When I was old enough to know better, I got married. I married an heiress of the Lipton tea family. Ooh, yes. We lived together on Main Street for a while. Panama Street for a while. And I was sitting in the den one day on the couch with my arm around my dog. And she came in and said, I guess it was PMS, I don't know. She seemed to have that a lot. She came in and said, either that dog goes or I go. I said, well, the dog got here first. So she left me, no big deal. 15 years go by. She calls me one day, Frank, I want to marry another man, but I have to get a divorce from you first. You know what I told her? I said, honey, go for it. I even attended her second wedding. I was always an easygoing kind of fellow. And I was always interested in show business. Well, when I was 14, I ran away from home and joined the Ringling Brothers Circus for a year. When I came back here, I played my drums in the Kramer Theater Orchestra Pit on McMartin Street. Miss Maudie Cleary, whom you've seen tonight at the Hunsberger House, sometimes played piano there. Well, my dabbling in show business got me involved with the James Adams Floating Theater. You see, these two former trapeze artists, James and Gertrude Adams, had either a very creative idea or a silly-ass idea building a theater that would float. So they had it built down in Bath in 1914. And that sucker would seat 700 people. It entertained up and down the East Coast for many years and always wintered right here in Elizabeth City. It was a big success from the very beginning. You see, James's sister Beulah was the leading lady. She was a fine actress and became known as the Mary Pickford of Chesapeake. Or to update it for you younger folks, the Julia Roberts of Chesapeake. Her husband, Charlie Hunter, was the leading man, stage director, and producer, and they performed every night of the week except, of course, Sunday night. Admission was 35 cents. Well, I was lucky enough to work with the theater briefly when I was 15. I sold admission tickets, and at other times I played my drums in the orchestra, of course, and then I sold refreshments. Now, I was a clever salesman. Not ethical, but clever. You see, I put a little extra salt in the popcorn so I could sell more drinks. It was a lot of fun. Then in 1924, Edna Ferber spent 4 nights aboard the floating theater doing research for her novel Showboat, which was adapted into a play and became a Broadway hit musical, partly because it had such songs as I Can't Help Loving That Man of Mine, but I like to sing it, I Can't Help Loving That Dog of Mine. And this one, I forgot to tell you, I want you to give me a negative reaction after this next little phrase of the song. I should have told you that at first. But another hit song from the show was this one. Old Man River. That's great without rehearsing. Everything to the Arts of the Albemarle McGuire Theater tonight. You got to meet Miss Ferber and see a darn good show as well. Now, I suppose it was only natural that I become an actor. See, I was a natural-born talker and ham. Who knew? Every Saturday, I used to go down on Main Street and preach sermons to anybody who would show up. Dearly beloved, beware of false prophets who come to you wearing sheep's clothes, but inwardly are ravening wolves. Amen? Amen? Amen. Well, people would come up to me afterwards and say, Preacher, where's your church? I would have to say, well, I'm not really all that religious. I just love to hear myself talk. I guess it could have been a good politician. If there is such an animal. Well, I mentioned my dog earlier, but I've got to tell you how my dog got his name. See, everywhere I went, my dog went in my truck from one construction site to another. So I got to thinking, and I decided to name him for an Old Testament character, Balaam. Everybody remembers Balaam, right? Lie to me, come on. Now, Balaam was famous for riding his ass all over Israel. Don't go there. Well, sir, I rode my Balaam's ass all over Elizabeth City. I thought that was a pretty good name for it. No, Balaam, you would love Balaam. He got so every time I get out of the truck, he would scooch over behind the steering wheel and stand there with his front paws up on the steering wheel, just like a human being. Well, so one day I parked at the White and Bright parking lot. And I went on in the store, not knowing that I had forgotten to set the emergency brake. Well, so that truck started rolling. And there's Balaam sitting right up the steering wheel. Well, this woman came running into the store. Eyes like this. She said, y'all ain't going to believe this. There's a dog out there driving a truck. Well, I looked at her and said, with a perfectly straight face, well, he shouldn't be doing that by himself. He only has a learner's permit. And then, for good measure, I added this little bit. Darn dog, you know what he did just the other day at Everett Bailey's service station? That darn dog charged $5 worth of gasoline to me. Well, I'm going to let you go. I told you I love to hear myself talk, but I want you to take this thought with you, okay? I can't help loving that dog of mine.